Hello, so today I thought we'd have a little bit of a play with some Infusions by PaperArtsy. I've got Orange County, Raspberry and frankly Scarlet. I'm going to use them with some photographic paper. This is cheap photographic paper. I got it from one of our discount stores. It came in A4 size and I just cut it into 4 postcard sizes. And we'll have a go and see what happens when we use the Infusions with the photographic paper. So we'll decide which we'll have first. I think we'll have Orange County first. I've got my glass mat. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit onto the glass mat. I punch a hole with one of these little pinboard pins into the top when I first get them, remove the inner seal, and then I just seal them by putting that back in the top. There is a video on the PaperArtsy blog about doing that, I'm sure. So I spritz it with a fair amount of water. The Infusions have coloured crystals, but they also have walnut crystals in them. And it depends how much water you add, how long you leave it to soak, all sorts of different things, all sorts of different things that actually react and create what you want. So I'm just going to press my photographic paper face down in there, lift it up and see what we've got. It's lovely. We've got the, you can see the walnut crystals haven't dissolved. They give it a little darker bit of speckle. I'll dip it again and again and see if we can cover most of the surface. I don't mind some white areas. You're probably better doing this with gloves on, but I can never feel the same with gloves on. Right, so we've got a fairly even coverage there. I'll just set it aside. I've got a piece of just folded paper, just mopping up the excess, just so I don't waste the Infusions. And then I'll just wipe it clean so we don't get any mixing of the colours. Now you can see here we've got the walnut crystals are giving the darker colour and the coloured crystals, I should presume they're pigment, are giving the brighter colours. I could dry it like that if I wanted, but I think I want a brighter colour. So what I'm going to do is just get one of my baby wipes. And while it's still relatively wet, wipe away the walnut crystals. And there we are, you see that? I really quite like that. I think that's pretty. We've got some depth of colour where the crystals were resting on. We've got a little bit of the walnut, which gives a darker tone, and I really like that. So that would be suitable for stamping on with Stayzon. You could do all sorts of things. You could add paint over the top. But what I think we'll try is layering the Infusions. So we'll try another colour. I'm sticking to the same colour family as in the warm colours, reds, oranges, etc. So I'll get rid of that a moment. We'll have tried orange. We'll try the raspberry next. I'll give them a shake. It's possibly a bit too much, but we can only try. Set that side out of the way. Right, now I have got a little bit too much I think there, so what I'm going to do is do one with just the raspberry on. Yeah, a little bit on that edge. And I'll get a little bit on that corner. And that corner. Yeah, I think that's enough on that one. And now I can just dip our orange one into what's still here. Right, there we are. I've got a nice mixture there. So I'll set those aside for a minute. I'll get my mop-up sheet. That's really quite pretty. Because I don't want to waste any of the infusions. So I'll just... So when you think there's not much left, you rehydrate it and there's more still. So I'll just go back and pick that up. You see there's quite a lot of colour there. Still. This is where I get very, very messy. Right, so I think that's enough. We could pick the rest of it up by keep rehydrating and getting paler and paler colours, but I think we'll just pick it up, unless we could be here forever. We'll come back to our two sheets, and you'll see now, because they've dried a little bit more, we might get a little bit more of the walnut ink. So we'll see. What we'll do is we'll do the mixed one first. It hasn't, I shouldn't have done it straight away because we've bled we've smudged the raspberry, but don't worry, we could always put our focal point over there. But that's still nice, and it's nice and bright, but it's got the little speckles as well. So we might just try the Scarlet, which might actually just sort that smear out. So I don't do the same again. I'm going to press my pickup sheet, my excess sheet on there to see if there's any wet patches. No, there doesn't appear to be many. So we'll get a clean area for our wet wipe again. Done it again. Anyway. At least it's linear. I don't mind linear elements. I think we need a clean baby wipe possibly. And keep these because these will be very useful to put in snippet rolls and all sorts of things. We don't waste our baby wipes. Pick that up. So we'll just go again. This is just getting mostly rid of the walnut ink, as you can see. That's a lovely, lovely raspberry colour. Very vibrant. That would be lovely to stamp on. So that's that one. Just have another clean up on this. Just to make sure we've got everything off. Yeah, I think we have. So we've done orange raspberry and we've got frankly Scarlet left. So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of frankly Scarlet. And not so much this time. I'll be a bit more sensible. And quite a lot of water. Now this is the area that I wanted to cover. I don't like that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that into the crystals. Yeah, that's got rid of the line a little bit more. A little bit at that edge. Set that aside. I don't think we'll put the raspberry into there because I don't think it would show up that much, but we'll do another blank sheet and see what we get. Oh, that's very pretty. As it was quite diluted, it's got a nice pink colour to it. And not so many sort of actual lines. That's quite pretty. Let it move about a bit. Pick up a bit more. Because that's quite diluted, I'm just going to mop that up. I don't think it would add much to our mop-up sheet. There we are. And what we could do is we've got this nice baby wipe, and I could just scrunch it a little bit and lay it on top and see what happens. Not a lot. We'll just wipe the walnut ink away. And that's quite pretty. It's quite pale because I did dilute the infusions quite a lot, but if you want a pale background with just some interest on, that's very pretty. We'll come back to this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab and see if we can just get rid of the excess without smudging it as we have done before. Yeah, I think we're alright, just wiping now. And you can see the walnut ink comes off onto the baby wipe. So that's quite interesting. We've got a nice depth of colour along the edges, but we've got some interest in the middle. I think possibly I would do a focal point that sort of came up and round and maybe a little bit in here. But I'll dry that, and the other two backgrounds was the mixed one, that was the frankly Scarlet, and that was the raspberry. Sure we've got everything off, all of those, yeah. And I'll do something with those and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Right, I've decided before I go any further with them, I know I said I was going to do something with them, but the pale one and the raspberry one I want to give a bit more depth to. So I've got the black currant infusions. So we're going to add a bit of those. That's a lovely black currant look. And see what we get. Oh, that's nice. Yes, this is going to be a lot better with a bit more interest on it. Yes. You see we get the little spots as well as the bursts of colour. That's rather nice. And where's the raspberry one now? The raspberry one may not have such a dramatic effect because it's quite near to the colour. Oh, but that's quite nice. We're getting some interesting effects. It gives it a little bit more interest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the raspberry to completely dry. I'll leave them both to completely dry, I think. And then I'll wipe off any excess undiluted and unactivated walnut ink. But I think I actually like them, and I don't want to risk having any smears like I did before. But I love that one now with the two different colours. So that's what we've got so far. Right, so I've had a little bit of a play. I wasn't so keen on the black currant and raspberry background. It was just a little bit, I actually don't even know if I put the black currant on there, but it was just a bit too even for me. So what I've done, I've doodled some flowers using a Uniball Signo broad white gel pen and a micron 0.3 black pigment pen. I've got my Stayzon ink pad, and I've got this nice stamp set from the Artistic Stamper. I love the heart and I love the word create, so I think I'm going to stamp those on here and then maybe add some of these cut out onto the top. But we'll see how we go and we'll see what it looks like. Right, so we've got our heart. I love the little heart. So plenty of Stayzon onto it. And up there. I think I'm going to group them. 1, 2, 1 partly off, I think. 3. Yeah, I like those up there. I am going to add some more doodling to it. I'm going to set that aside so I remember to clean it, because you should always clean your stamps if you've used Stayzon. I've got some stamp cleaner and I'll do it later. So I don't think that will quite fit across there. Oh yes, it will. Good idea if I put it the right way so I could read it. Alright, so we've got create. I'll add plenty of ink. And I think we'll have it here. Hopefully that's in shot. Just stuck slightly. Come on. That's it. So I like that there. Let's put the cover back on my ink pad. So that's a start. I think I'm going to have some of these flowers in a group, but I'm also going to do a little bit of doodling. So I think, let's see up here, I have to turn it round so I can get the lines straight. I'm just going to do some lines in this paler area. Just to give it a bit more interest. And you could do these freehand if you want, but there's a little bit of interest up there. I think I need to go a little bit further down. Just a tad. Oh. Just so it fades out to nothing there, and it almost gives it a three-dimensional look, so it looks as if this is folded over something. Let's see, I like these dots here, so I'm going to just go around them to emphasize them. Maybe not all of them, but just the major ones, the main ones. Because I really quite like that. And it just gives it a little bit of background texture. Another one here. Yeah, that's that. Let's see, I would like to do some crosses or dots. I think we'll do some dots down here. So we've got a little bit of an area where there is dots, which I'm going to highlight those or emphasize those. And some of this may be covered up, but that's just one of the things with mixed media. You do it and then you may cover it up. Just a couple more. So that carries your eye down here. And then I think I'm going to do some just small dots in between. I'm just going round the outline, so I'm deciding where the dots are going to start and finish the area. An artist that I watched once quite a few years ago summed up the thing that he aimed and strived for all the time as the difference. Basically, it's contrast. Large dots, small dots. And the contrast, whether it be colour, whether it's shape, whether it's size, it's basically the difference between one thing and another. I need this to flow out there, so I'll just go there. I'm thinking I need these to be included. They're a little bit out on a limb at the moment, so I'm just going to define the area that I'm going to fill in with dots so that they aren't out on a limb and left hanging. Right, I think that's enough there. I may continue it up here. I quite like my word create, and on the stamp you'll see it has little white highlights shown at where it's done there. Let's see if I can get my pen going. Yeah. So what I'm going to try to achieve is a similar thing. I'm going to do it with little dots because I think a full line would be too much. And I'm just going around the left-hand edge where there is a gap in the stamping. A little bit around there. Where it's a little bit unclear on here, I'm checking with my stamp packaging so I can tell where it is. I think it just adds a little bit of something extra. Just do a little bit there. I think that's about right. We want some more on the E. I think we need a little bit there. Yeah, I think that's enough. But what I do want to do as well is underline it. Go under the line that is there with white. There we are. Don't think I want to do it on the top. I don't think it's necessary. So now I'm going to fussy cut some of these out and pop them on there. What I might do before is just draw around these hearts. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect because it's going to have a doodly look to the whole card anyway. Yeah, I think that's better with the white. I actually think this needs a little bit more here. And of course it's not. My white gel pens are getting a little old. They don't always work all the time, that's it. And I think I'll just add some little dots. That's it, I like dots. Yeah, I think when we've got the flowers on, I think that'll be fine. And we'll do a similar sort of thing with this one. Hello, so we're back and I've got the finished postcards. This one just has a lot of doodling on it. I've doodled the flower. I did stamp some of the hearts from the stamp set, which I liked, but I've done a lot of doodling as well, and this is just sequin waste, which I've just used as a stencil and just done with the white gel pen, and then another, let's see what it was. It's a jelly roll from Sakura, and it is the one that's got a colour but then it turns metallic, which is green and silver. I don't know if you can see that when it shines. So I just put a few highlights of that into the project. The flower's just completely doodled, and then I've just filled some of the areas with interest. I like that one. This one I really love. This is my favourite. Hopefully you'll be able to see it and it won't shine too much. I can't tell by... I think that's okay if I hold it like that. I've got the Stamped Create, which I worked on. These are the doodled flowers which I cut out and stuck on and just trimmed, and then these are some more doodled leaves, flowers, whatever, that I doodled, cut out and stuck on, and then I just added stems and I added some white dots. So I really love that one, and I hope you can get some inspiration from this and give it a go.